The Galactic Academy's engineering hall buzzed with the usual symphony of species-specific chatter. Crystalline beings chimed like wind chimes. Gas-form entities whispered through atmospheric speakers, and various bipedal races contributed their own linguistic melodies to the cosmic cacophony. Among them all, Raza sat hunched over his desk, his cybernetic limbs trembling with the effort of simply holding a stylus. The Zephyrian cyborg had once been a prodigy. His biomechanical fusion was considered a masterpiece of his species' technology. Neural processors that could calculate faster than quantum computers, synthetic muscles that never tired, optical sensors that could see across 17 different spectrums. He had been the pride of his homeworld, sent to the Academy as their representative of perfect technological evolution. That was before the Cascade failure. Now 3 months into the semester, Raza's enhanced systems were slowly dying. His power cells couldn't hold a charge for more than a few hours. His motor functions glitched randomly, causing his hands to spasm or his legs to lock up. Worst of all, his pride, the neural processors that had made him special, were corrupted, throwing errors that left him dizzy and confused. The other students had stopped trying to help weeks ago. The crystalline healers couldn't interface with his technology. The gas-form engineers couldn't manipulate solid matter precisely enough. Even the Academy's advanced medical AI had declared his condition irreversible systemic deterioration. Raza was dying, and everyone knew it. Another glorious day of academic excellence ahead, he muttered to himself as his left arm jerked involuntarily, knocking his datapad to the floor. The device clattered across the polished surface, coming to rest near a pair of simple organic feet. "You dropped this." Raza looked up to see a human girl crouching beside his desk holding out his datapad. Her name was Naz. He remembered because she was the only pure organic student in their advanced engineering class. No cybernetic enhancements, no genetic modifications, no technological augmentations, just baseline human DNA wrapped in soft flesh and powered by primitive biochemistry. She was, by galactic standards, laughably inferior. "Thanks," Raza managed, his vocal processors crackling with static. His hand shook as he reached for the device, and Naz had to steady his wrist to help him grasp it. "Your servo motors are binding," she observed, her brown eyes studying his cybernetic arm with unexpected interest. "And your power distribution seems uneven. When did you last run diagnostics?" Raza blinked, his optical sensors struggling to focus. "You understand cybernetic systems?" "I understand mechanical systems," Naz corrected gently, "and biological ones. Your hybrid architecture is fascinating. It's like watching 2 different languages try to have a conversation." Before Raza could respond, Professor Vexhai called the class to order. The insectoid instructor began explaining quantum flux dynamics, but Raza found himself watching Naz instead. While other students interfaced directly with their learning modules or absorbed data through specialized organs, she took notes by hand, her primitive writing implement moving steadily across actual paper. It was analog, inefficient, utterly backwards, so why couldn't he look away? After class, Raza's legs locked up completely. He sat frozen in his chair as other students filed out, his pride warring with desperation. Finally, only Naz remained. "Need help?" she asked simply. "The Academy medical systems can't—" "I'm not Academy medical systems," she interrupted. "I'm just a girl with 2 hands in a toolbox. May I?" Something in her tone made him nod. Naz knelt beside his chair and began examining his legs with gentle, methodical precision. Her fingers traced along his cybernetic components, and Raza was shocked to feel actual sensation through his synthetic nerve networks, something that hadn't worked properly in weeks. "There," she said, pressing something near his knee joint. "Try now." Raza's legs unlocked with a soft hum. He stood slowly, amazed at the stability of his movements. "How did you—" "Your systems are designed too perfectly," Naz explained, packing away a small toolkit that looked almost primitive compared to the Academy's advanced equipment. "They don't know how to handle imperfection, so when one component starts failing, everything else tries to compensate perfectly, which creates a cascade of perfectionist paralysis." She smiled, and Raza realized she was beautiful in a way that had nothing to do with technological enhancement. "But humans," she continued, "were built on imperfection. Our hearts skip beats, our neurons misfire, our muscles cramp, and we work anyway. I just taught your systems to be a little more human." Over the following weeks, Naz became Raza's lifeline. When his power cells began failing, she jury-rigged a backup system using components that shouldn't have been compatible, but somehow worked. When his processors threw errors, she installed simple buffer routines that let him think through the glitches instead of being paralyzed by them. "It's not elegant," she admitted as she calibrated his optical sensors with what appeared to be a handheld mirror and some basic tools. But elegant systems are brittle. Ugly solutions survive. Raza found himself fascinated by her approach. Where Zephyrian engineering pursued perfection through complexity, human engineering embraced simplicity through redundancy. Her fixes were crude, inelegant, and absolutely brilliant. "Why are you helping me?" he asked one evening as she worked on his neural interface, her tongue poking out slightly in concentration. "Because you needed help," she said, as if it were obvious. "And because," she paused, looking up at him. "Because I've been watching you, Raza. Under all that technology, you're still you. Still curious, still kind, still brilliant. The hardware isn't what makes you special." As the semester progressed, Raza's condition stabilized and then improved. His hybrid systems, now running on Naz's ugly human-inspired protocols, became more robust than they had ever been. He could process data for hours without fatigue. His motor functions were smoother than before his illness, and his power systems had redundancies that made complete failure nearly impossible. But more than that, he found himself changing. The rigid perfection of his Zephyrian programming gave way to something more flexible, more creative, more human. On graduation day, as Raza accepted his degree with hands that no longer trembled, he sought out Naz in the crowd of celebrating families and friends. "I never thanked you properly," he said. She smiled that radiant, entirely organic smile. "You don't need to thank me. We helped each other. How did I help you? You taught me that the most advanced technology in the galaxy still needs the human touch," she replied. "And sometimes being perfectly imperfect is the most perfect thing of all." As they walked across the academy courtyard together, a cyborg student whose weakness had become strength, and a human girl whose simplicity had saved the day, Raza realized that the greatest engineering marvel in the universe wasn't technology at all. It was compassion, and humans, he had learned, had perfected that long before they ever reached for the stars.